All right, what's up there, YouTube? Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you a couple things. I was trying different programs for editing because I was getting out of this Adobe Continuous $60 a month or $50 a month, whatever, $50 a month for Creative Cloud membership because renting software is kind of a pain in the neck. It's not really that it's a pain in the neck. It's just that it's not something I want to do. I just don't see paying $50 a month for software when I can do it with something else. I've edited with Edius, with Premiere, with Sony Vegas, and before it was Sony, it was somebody else. I think it was SoundForge Vegas or something else. Anyway, and then I tried DaVinci Resolve. And DaVinci Resolve came out with a new version, and I thought I'd give that a shot too. And I really, really liked the layout of DaVinci Resolve, and I like some of the features in there, like scrubbing over the clips and having it pop up in the main window and quickly being able to drag stuff down. It seemed like a pretty cool little program. But I did have one problem with it, and it's a major problem. As you know, my system, I'm going to be upgrading my video card for multiple reasons, but the main reason is it's a couple of years old. It's a GTX 760, but it's not the oldest card. It works in Premiere. It works in Edius. Edius actually does use the GPU for, I think, some color correction or something. It doesn't use it for much. Some of the transitions and some color correction. Doesn't use much of the GPU. I've looked at the thing when I'm exporting and it doesn't use much. But it's a 2 gig video card, so it meets the basic minimum requirements for Adobe Mercury Playback Engine, which is the thing that uses the CUDA cores on the graphics chip to accelerate effects and stuff. In DaVinci Resolve, it uses all the memory in the video card pretty quickly. So basically any project I open, if it's a 4K project, it's constantly coming up with an error that you can't get around. And I'm not ready to upgrade the video card yet because I'm waiting for, as you know, Vega prices to come down or something else and see what's on the horizon, because this one basically does work. Now, it doesn't work as good in video games as some of those newer cards, you know, obviously, but I play, like, when I do play games like Battlefield and stuff like that, it works perfectly fine. Like, I've been playing the new Tomb Raider, the Battlefield works fine. PUBG's a little bit laggy, but I don't even like PUBG anyway because I didn't like Counter-Strike either. I wasn't a fan of Counter-Strike, and I don't like PUBG. But the funny thing is I love Battlefield. I can play Battlefield all the time. I mean, I could always pop in a game of, reminds me I want to pop in a game of Battlefield. But anyway, there was no real reason for me to upgrade video cards other than the gaming thing. So I've been wanting to, just because it's time to upgrade. But I don't want to have to be forced to upgrade right now to a card that has 4 gigs or more of memory just to use DaVinci Resolve. Show you what happens in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm also going to show you some things that I like about Edius and some things that I think they need to improve on. So this is a quick, like, critique of some things in Edius that I think they need to improve on, and some things that I like about DaVinci Resolve and the problems that I have in using DaVinci Resolve, and the reason why I'm basically just sticking with Edius because it seems to work. Works pretty good for me. And I gotta go to the media thing. Oh yeah, okay. So you go to media. And why does it bring you to edit first? It should bring you to media first. So let me go grab some clips here. Internal edit, projects. I'll just pick one that I've done recently. Now, I'm not going to sit through all this, but I would normally, like in Edius or whatever, just grab all the clips. I'm just going to do what I normally do. Grab all the clips, drop them down in here. Don't change. I'm not going to change the frame rate. So there's some clips there. I don't need to go through multiple cameras. We're just going to go through the one thing. We're just going to go to edit. So here's my clips here editing. And so I just loaded it up. Let's check out my task manager real quick and see what it says about performance. So this is, you'll see what my system is. So basically my CPU is pegged at 99%, and it's a Ryzen 7 1700 8-core processor, 16 thread. 8 core, 16 threads. It's pegged out right now, just importing the media. The GPU is at 0. I dropped this back down to the default because I wanted to make sure it didn't have any errors. I had it overclocked right to 3.9 gigahertz, I think it was. And I dropped it back down just to make sure it was completely stable when I'm editing. Fine for playing games. Editing, I can't have it do any funky things when I'm editing. So I don't really mind. 3.7, 3.8, it jumps up. It jumps up to around 3.8 something. So that's close enough. That's within a couple megahertz. Okay, so it's importing. It's saying in the GPU is still at 1%. So anyway, so here's clips. So here's some clips. Like, I like how it does this, where I'm in the player and the thing. I can basically set, or I can come down here. I can click it and then come down here. See, and now it's got some like crazy lag. It's sitting here. It's not doing anything. Like the lag is like ridiculous. Why has it got ridiculous lag? I don't know. GPU is only at 2%. It's not using any GPU, but the lag is ridiculous. All my cores are, their processors dropping down to nothing. Memories at using I got 32 gigs. It's using 15, so it's only using 40%. It's not using all the memory. But yet, I mean, how do I get this? I won't even play the clip. I'm over here. Okay, so say I had this clip here and I want to set an in and an out. So I set an I and an O. This is just a different one. Plop it down the timeline. There we go. It's on the timeline. What do we got here now? It was coming with a constant GPU error. So here's some more people. Let's go to. That's them out by the water fountain. We'll just set an I. Like I use small clips like this. O. Drag it down. See, now today it's not doing the GPU thing. Let's bring some more clips in. Maybe it's because of my clips. Let's go back to media. Maybe it was the type of media I had in it. Let's go shift and drag all these in. There it goes. GPU memory's full. Try reducing the timeline resolution or the number of correctors. Don't know what that is. What's the number of correctors? What do we got? It says my memory's full. Yep, see, but it's not showing it's full. It's only using 1%. Click OK. Then go back to edit. Let's drag some other clips down on here. You can just drag it right from there. St. Augustine. It's another wedding I shot in St. Augustine. Just putting it on here.
These girls are excited.
So yeah, I was getting that error constantly. I was trying to edit a project and I was getting this GPU error. And see how slow it is doing the little picture? It's still taking forever. to do these. And like they go away and then you scroll back and they're gone again. So like I'll go down here and then I'll scroll back. I'm like, well, where are they? And then they're still doing, and then I'll go back and they're still missing. It takes a lot of time to get these pictures, the little pictures, to update on the things. So I like, you know, I and O. And then I like that you can just drag the video down. I like the way that, there it is, GPU memory is full. So when I was editing the other day, it was a constant thing. It was constantly doing this, GPU memory is full. So, and I'm not much into color correction. I do some color correction, but I don't do that much color correction. And, where's the timeline? Oh, okay, I gotta get clips. So, it's, what is this? It's like, it doesn't, look, it's not reading the file right. It's like the memory's full, so it can't read the file. None of these files are reading. See, it's having a problem. Like the memory's full on the GPU, but it's only saying it's using 2%. So basically, it's saying you need a GPU, a video card with a like 4 gigs or more of memory, I'm assuming. But anyway. So I'm not even going to save this. It does this constantly. It does this. I'm not even trying to edit. And I had a timeline going. I got it. I deleted a bunch of clips out of the bin, out of the media pool. Got rid of a bunch of clips. Just used just the ones I thought I wanted to edit. And I was in there doing a basic edit with it, and it was coming up with this error. So I couldn't get past it. It just constantly was coming up with the error. So pass on that one. So now let's go back over here to Edius. I'm going to show you some things in Edius that I like and some things that I don't like. Some things I think they need improvement on, a few things. Syncing multiple cameras really wasn't a problem. It really isn't that big of a deal. It'd be nice to have auto sync, pluralize, or something like that in there. But it really was not hard for me to sync these multiple. I had 3 cameras going on this wedding. I had 3 cameras going and 2 extra audio sources. So I had like 3 audio tracks. I actually had another one that I ended up not using because the mic on him worked perfectly fine. So I really didn't need to use it. But basically this timeline here, this is the multi-camera timeline. But I took it off of multi-camera. So basically it's just going back and forth, and I set my primary color corrector over here. If you look over here on the right, you'll see primary color corrector. I already put it on there. That's with it. That's without it. Just adds a little bit more contrast. It's kind of washed out looking right there, and then that's a little bit harder. I like that better. I've been working with it back and forth. So same thing here. This primary color corrector is off. Now it's on. It brightened up the dark areas. Sky's overblown, but I can't really help it too much because they were in a real dark spot. Same thing here. Primary color corrector needs to be turned on because I turned it off. What I did was I edited multiple cameras, but this is a 4K project, and the clips have stabilization and like stabilizations on here. Like this is the Nikon. I turned off the primary color corrector. Actually, this looks pretty decent when the shadow comes in there. It looks pretty good with the blacks brought down a little bit, shadows changed a little bit, make it a little bit darker. I like this look a little bit more. I'm trying to go for that kind of look with it. And like this here. So I'm definitely going to just try stabilizing this first. Where is it? Stabilizer. You got stabilizer and rolling shutter. I can try both on this one. So plop it on there. It automatically analyzes it and fixes it at the same time. And it's fast. It's super fast. That's one of the things I really like about Edius. Now that I've been using the multi-camera, I really like the way it works with turning the clips on and off. I like how it turns the clips on and off, and I like how I can quickly switch clips faster than I can in Premiere. It's actually faster to switch clips than it is in Premiere. So it's almost done analyzing. That's a fairly long clip. That's them walking down the aisle. It's got to do a lot of stabilization. See, it's them coming all the way down and walking past me. So this is a, what's this clip? I don't know what the duration of this clip is. It's, I'll see, it cuts over. I need to shorten that. So this needs to go like this. So to shorten the clip, like at the end, I missed it. I panned back real quick, and you can see I don't want that pan. I'm just going to keep it right here. So you basically just drag it over. Take the clip that you want, drag over. Take this one, drag it over, and now it goes from there to that shot, which isn't a good shot. It's people's heads. So I'll probably end up just slowing this down or whatever. So again, it's one of those situations where you can slow something down. Other track's supposed to be on, but I got the audio turned off just for checking audio. Anyway, so okay, so now it's done. See, it actually went through and fixed the stabilization. So if you watch this clip here, you'll see this has got primary color corrector on it. See, it's a little bit wobbly in the stabilization. I got to fix the beginning because I was moving way too much, but this is good right here. This is good right here. So anyway, and this is Edius playing back 4K footage, multi-camera with stabilization and with effects on it, and the buffer staying full. I don't know what else you can do. It's a 4K file. This is 4K. Playing back in Edius with the GTX 760. And you want to see what my bin looks like? Let's go to my bin. Here's my bin here. I've got all the cameras in there. Just like, and see how fast the little pictures are updating? Yeah, it doesn't do the little preview thing, but the pictures are updating so I can see what they are and jump right to it. I've got some Nikon shots in there and then some other 4K footage from a Sony in there. So, but the clips are right in there and they jump right in. Okay, so one of the things I like almost everything else in Edius. Something they need to fix, they need to work on in Edius is the exporting. I mean, come on, it's 2018. File, export, print to file, right? Print to file, F11, print to file. That's fine. But the problem is this is absolutely terrible. There's no like if you pick H.264, you don't get anything that says like for YouTube or PlayStation for portable. I mean, how old is that? PlayStation portable? iPod exporter? Blu-ray? I get that Blu-ray exporter plugin. But if you pick H.264 AVC just from the list and then you choose export between and out, display time code, this is all fine. Enable conversion. There's an advanced tab and it shows you that you're in that. But if you enable conversion, you can change video format. You can change it here, right? But it doesn't. There's no presets to like. Okay, I want YouTube 4K. There's no YouTube 4K. There's nothing that says YouTube 4K or anything like that. So if I click export, it's saying it's MPEG-4. It wants me to name it, right? So, and it goes back to the same folder. That's fine. You know, we'll put Camilla Jared ceremony. Let's just pick this. Right? Here's the other thing down here at the bottom. Basic settings, profile high, CBR, average 25 bazillion. I mean, I don't even know what this is. There's 25 million. Is that the same thing? And then it only gives you 25 million, 50, 100 million, 200. I mean, you're going to pick 50? What if you do VBR? Then you got 50,000, 50 and 50, and then is this supposed to be like 100? You know, and 50. Which one's the best for YouTube? Is it 17's the best for YouTube? Is for 4K YouTube is 25. There's no profiles on here where you could just pick a profile and go, okay, I want to export to YouTube. And they also need to add in a YouTube uploader. I mean, you have DVD burning, you have this burning. It's 2018. People are using less and less DVDs, more and more social media. This thing needs to be updated for social media. So you need to be able to click up, you need to be able to pick YouTube as a preset. This whole window here needs to be revamped. This needs to be completely changed. And it needs to have YouTube 4K, and then have, like, even inside there, maybe a couple presets. So like low bit rate, medium bit rate, high bit rate. So you can say, okay, I want the maximum quality. It's a short enough video. Doesn't really matter. I want it to look the best it can look for YouTube. And then have one medium quality. That's your average, 10, 15 minute YouTube project or whatever. And then one higher. And you should be able to click to log into your account, set up just like Adobe does in their Adobe Media Encoder. It needs to have those things so that you can just click export and go. And like you can go on, you can leave the office and go do something, and in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, it'll create the file and then upload it to YouTube to your account and already have everything listed and everything's done and you're done. You don't have to export it, go find the file, and then import it into YouTube. That's that's one of the big things that needs to be changed is this whole thing here. And then even extended settings gives you, it gives you technical stuff, which is great that it has the technical stuff. Bit depth, B frame, number of reference frames, multi-slice, it's got some advanced settings here, but there's no simple. It's got the advanced ones and it's got basic ones, but it needs to have either another tab with a bunch of stuff for YouTube and different presets, or the presets in the last one, or in the other one, it needs to have more presets to do stuff. That would make it a whole lot better. That's really one of my biggest gripes. The other gripe is the audio. We need audio. I know there's a filter that I used all the time in Premiere and Adobe Audition, and that's speech volume leveler. There's a filter where you can click. I don't know if there's one in here, but if they're okay during the vowels, let's go over here and look, because you can see I boosted it up. See this part where I boosted up? You can see the little keyframes on here where the audio is boosted. So if you look at this waveform, see the waveform, see how loud this one here is louder. And this area here is louder, but this is quiet because this I can tell by looking at it. This is where she's talking. So the bride is talking.
One that I'm romantically trying to
see,
express my
she's talking.
love for you, and the other is the one that you will actually understand.
So the sun was right in her face. It was a bad spot. This little area was, the time of day put the sun right in her face. But anyway, I had to boost this up manually. So it would be nice to have a filter that you could say speech volume leveler. So if it's all vocal, somebody talking like a microphone on a groom, it'll drop his volume, raise her volume, and raise the volume of the minister, whatever, and make them all even so that it's the same volume across all the things. I tried clicking, right clicking and choosing normalize. There's a normalize filter here. Where is it? Normalize. And I even did it, and it didn't seem to do, it does, nothing happens. It really didn't change anything.
We've been through so much.
So it's the same as it was. It didn't.
And it's you and I, forever. With this ring, I promise you.
That's a great shot. But I like actually his face had the perfect light from the light coming off of her, the reflection off her dress onto his face. And this, it looked, his was actually looking better with the sun to his back than her with the sun to her face. But I can't help that.
Are not mine.
That's what I was given. But anyway, back to the audio. See, his audio sounds fine, but they need a speech volume leveler type of filter in there. That's really the two biggest things, really. Everything else I really like about it. It never crashes. It renders super fast. Like, for instance, if you did have a ton of filters and you did have a ton of 4K files on the timeline, if you did have a bunch of filters, a bunch of 4K files on the timeline, and you had some that came up, see, there's a little line here saying it's orange, so it's not sure if it can play. It's rendering it is so fast. So if I just render all, render loaded area, it's going to render it's going to actually sit here and render the thing, but it does it way faster than Adobe. It says around about 15 minutes, but it drops down real quick. When I hit the enter on Adobe, it takes a long time to render that. Like even a ceremony like this on Premiere, it takes a while to render the files so that you can just sit there and view them. One thing I did notice, when you render on this, if you move the clip at all, if you move the whole timeline, like deleted gap at the beginning, it deletes all the render files. So the render files are only good if they're sitting exactly where they are on the timeline. They need to fix that. So they need to make it where, as long as you haven't made any adjustments to the video, like on Adobe, if I change camera and I extend a camera, then it's going to say you got to re-render that part. And it'll only re-render the little parts that were changed. Like you make a change, add a filter or something, then you have to render it again. But you can take the whole timeline and plop it on another section and it will keep the rendered file. Also, you need to make it where they also need to make it where when I export, say to MP4 for YouTube or something like that, you can actually use the rendered files, which will use the files that have already been rendered for the filters. So the filters are already done. It takes less time to export that way. So that's a handy thing too. So anyway, there's a couple things I thought I'd go over, and some stuff that I'd like to fix and stuff I'd like to see in Edius as far as this type of thing. So that's basically the wrap up of what I was talking about with the two editing softwares and what's going on here. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to leave a comment below about some things that you noticed or something that needs to be, is there a way around this with DaVinci Resolve? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the only way around it is to upgrade the video cards. But anyway, it's great talking to you, YouTube. See ya. Have a good day. I'm out.